Hey guys, I made it finally from work to work. Welcome to the Wednesday Arrowverse stream. I know we normally do this on Tuesday. We started, I believe, 2 Tuesdays in a row. We've done it on Tuesday night, but I had an engagement yesterday, so I couldn't make it. So I appreciate you guys. Number one, the ones that you did that checked out my video with my acting class. That is awesome. I appreciate that. I'm hoping to get the video up potentially on my YouTube channel so people can see it because you didn't get the full view because of technical issues. So I'm hoping to get that up for you guys. But we got lots to talk about. We're talking about the latest Flash episode and we're talking about Superman and Lois. And those are always fun subjects. So let's start with the Flash. Now, the Flash at this point for me should probably be called Run, Barry, Run, because they say this so much that I started to believe that actually was the title. But something new has happened. We've learned that instead of Barry's power just being, originated from the artificial speed force or the original complex Speed Force, it's actually powered by the power of love. As a matter of fact, everything that happened in this episode was solved with the power of love. So let's just jump right in. So basically, we are reminded of the miniseries Crisis on Infinite Earth, which I wish we weren't, and that Barry is the paragon of love. He learns that he is basically not going to be able to stop Eva because he doesn't have his speed. They're at a disadvantage. I mean, he's very down on himself right now because Eva is like bringing her children, her mirror children over to replace people. So people are being snatched into the Mirrorverse and replaced with duplicates. She takes Barry into the Mirrorverse and she tells him things like, people suck. You suck for not trying to, use your powers to basically stop world hunger and, do really amazing things that I would do because I am not human, which makes me better than you. And that basically you're all trash. And so I want you to basically be the Noah's Ark of the suckiness and take all the people, all the humans of this world into the Mirrorverse. And he's like, no, that's not what's going to happen. So he says no. Now, right before this, Team Flash kind of sees him kneeling over Iris. It's right after he uses lightning to destroy the artificial speed force. Immediately, Cisco wants to fix it. And Barry's like, nope, I'm not going down that road again. That stuff is evil. I'm done with it. So understandable. He was not a nice guy. He was a very a-holy Vulcan and was not a nice guy in the last episode. Him ripping Iris into, the real world from the Mirrorverse also caused her brain waves to malfunction or go crazy. So she was spazzing, seizing, and she's basically in kind of like a catatonic state. Her eyes are blinking, but she's not there. So Eva basically gives him the ultimatum, brings him back. And I thought it was really interesting when they're like, well, what are we going to do? We have to do something, to win. And Barry's like, no, we can't win. we don't have anything, and then he just kind of goes off. And I'm like, okay, that was motivational. But luckily for them, we have the original Harrison Wells. When we saw turn into these green, bits of data that just disappeared. Well, he reappeared in Star Labs and he has all of the imprints of all of the wells of all of the multiverse because apparently he was sent there because there has to be a balance of power amongst the Harrison Wells, which makes sense. Basically, you have to have a Harrison Wells in every universe. I agree with this. But it's interesting because I go back to what I said at the beginning. I'm telling you, the show should be called Run, Barry, Run. It should not be called The Flash. It should be called Run, Barry, Run. Because Harrison is the one that tells him you need to run towards love. You're the paragon of love, which he does. Turns out him running towards his wife, which he should have been in there holding his wife's hand to begin with and not be, socking in the break room. That's what I call that little lounge area. But turns out him, touching her sparks something and he starts seeing flashbacks of which he shouldn't have a flashback of her doing it to him while he was in a coma, but it is what it is. She touches his hand and there's like an electrical charge, and all the time that has happened. And the fact that their child, Nora, had both yellow and purple, lightning means that Iris still has the speed force inside of her. That sounds dirty. Anyway, I originally thought in that moment that the reason that she was sparking was that she was pregnant with Nora or Dawn and Dawn. I don't know. I thought that would have been a really cool, like how cool would it have been to be pregnant with the twins and they saved Daddy and Central City from the womb? That would have been awesome. But anyway, Iris wakes up. She goes right to the fusion spear. She puts her hand on it and she keeps mumbling, "We need you. We need you." And suffice it to say, Barry's running and then he gets his speed back because it's the power of love. That is literally the Flash's power. It is the power of love. If I keep saying it in a very snarky way, it's just interesting to me. But long story short, after Barry gets his speed back and they go to confront Eva, Iris actually goes to help them because they're getting their butts kicked by all the multiple Evas. And she's able to use mirror abilities, which I knew she had mirror abilities. I just didn't know if they were only in the Mirrorverse. But she's able to use Mirrorverse abilities against Eva. But that is not what actually stops Eva from doing anything. It's because Eva, once again, is reminded of the power of love and the fact that you want to make the world a better place. You think we all suck. You think Barry sucks, which is kind of true. And your children, your mirror children, are destroying the world. This is not the type of world that you wanted. You wanted peace. You wanted everybody to get along. This is what's happening. Your children don't even know how to love. And so, of course, Eva's like, wait a minute, miscalculation. I wanted everyone to love. No. And so she tries to stop it and she can't. So of course she has to hold Iris's hand and Barry's hand, and between the power of three, oh, I'm on a roll. They're able to use their power of threeness to destroy all of the mirror children. It's kind of cool to watch, actually. To be fair, the scenes with Barry using his lightning to fight, pretty good. But it's just the overall theme of the power of love that was getting to me a lot in this episode. But yeah, Ava's destroyed. We got Sing and Camille back. Harrison decides that he's going to leave for good, which made me wonder, is Tom Cavanaugh leaving the Flash? Because Harrison's like, I'm going to go back to the time before my wife died and I have our 4 wonderful years together and keep having them over and over together until I run out of time. So he's time traveling. And interestingly, Cisco's like, I hope that me and Camilla have the same type of relationship that you and your wife does. And he says, you will. And I don't know if he's just saying that because he can see the future or what that was about. But that whole little awkward bonding moment between them was very cool. The whole scene between him and Allegra, when Allegra was looking for signs of Nash, was interesting too. I feel bad for her. But yeah, the original Harrison Wells is deciding to go back in time until he runs out of time to spend his last moments with his wife, which is pretty cool. Because the one thing that always bothers me about Barry is that he's always talking about Iris, but like, watch the end of Crisis and see who he was watching the news with. I'm just putting it out there, guys. Can't make it up. It's interesting. But side note, Sue comes back with Ralph, and apparently they're in this, they get caught up in a building explosion, and he's like all burned and mangled to crap. So of course they have to put him in this machine, which I kept thinking, are they going to do the thing like that they did in Black Lightning, where they put the particles in and his matter's recreated and fixes everything, and then he's going to come out looking different, like with Jen? But it didn't happen that way. At least we don't know what happened. He came out all bandaged with wearing helmets with sunglasses on. So that's a good way of not showing the actual Ralph actor, but by keeping Sue in the loop too. So Sue's able to be in the Flash episodes without Ralph, because technically Ralph is with her, just not in his shape or his form, which is cool. Because quite frankly, I guess they could get away with doing that for the rest of the time in the Flash. They could have literally had something happen where Ralph could never go back to his original form, and we still get elongated man. I mean, it's just a thing. But yeah, it was just really interesting. There's so many things about the episode that were interesting. Like even at the end, it kind of looks like they create another particle accelerator moment where like literally when Iris had her hand on I gotta stop saying that it's a fusion spear. I gotta stop saying the power of love bomb. And then like all of the lightning, the multicolored rainbow lightning went flying up. I'm like, oh crap, what did they do now? Like, because it's always them. But I don't know. Guys, I just feel like the power of love was an interesting concept for this. And I understand that the Flash has always been campy like that. It's always been a little cheesy, but it's just the fact that everything, like even with Iris's coma and then her waking up so suddenly, the power of love. Like, run, Barry, run. I don't know. Maybe run, Maria. But yeah, honestly, that's literally the recap for that episode. There really wasn't a lot else. It was, though, I will say there's one sad scene I left out, and that's only with Joe when he thought I think Cecile was taken into the mirror verse, and he was getting ready to go join her because he didn't want to live in a world without her. And I kept thinking, what about your baby? Who has the baby? Where is the baby girl? Like, I need to know where their kid is. Because like throughout the season, I don't think we probably have heard about her, but I don't remember. So it's like, it's interesting how they're ready to throw themselves to the wolves for each other. But like, you forget you have like a whole toddler or a baby, somewhere at home. Who's going to take care of the kid, Joe? The Mirrorverse chick? Like, guys, guys, I don't know what's happening. All right. So that was the Flash. Let's move on to Superman and Lois. So much happened in this episode. So it's really interesting to me, first off, that Lois cannot write the article she wanted to write to kind of stop the vote over the mining rights to being sold to Morgan Edge in the Gazette because of a non-compete. But yet in the episode, Lois says to Clark, and quote, people will listen to you because you're from Smallville and you should go up, and do the speech, on my behalf. And I kept thinking, but that doesn't make any sense because if you both worked at the Daily Planet, doesn't he have the same contract? I mean, why does she have a special contract that Clark doesn't have? I don't understand that. So that to me was weird. I don't get why Clark has more leniency against Morgan Edge being, and being sued by them than Lois does. But just throwing it out there. So I do love the fact that I'm associating here. I do love the fact that the company that is trying to buy the mining rights, it's called Intercorp. And then we see Kilgrave, who's associated with Intergang. So now I'm convinced that Morgan Edge, and I thought this before, but Morgan Edge is definitely over Intergang. And from what I'm seeing in the episode, I think that Lois's dad is too, but I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, they're trying to get the mining rights. Morgan Edge is going around and snoozing with all the town. He goes to the football game. He takes a very interesting, interest in Lana. It actually looked kind of predatory. It was very weird. And like, even Lana told her husband later, why would you let me sit with him? I was uncomfortable. It didn't make me feel good. And he's like, well, he wasn't flirting with you. I'm like, you must not have been looking at the same stuff I've been looking at, because he was like eating her alive. But yeah, that was very creepy. That was very, very creepy. I think the dynamic's funny. So like Clark's ex-girlfriend, Morgan Edge is into, and Clark's wife is literally Morgan Edge's nemesis. I love how she stood up to him. Like, she went up to the mine and she was like, I'm tired of you with your far British accent. And he's like, I think you'll find that my accent is, real. She's like, I don't care. I do like how she plays Lois, because Erica Durance is my favorite incarnation of her, but she's kind of like a remake of Erica Durance in that way. She definitely has the spunk, and she's definitely spicy about it. So I do love how she talks crap to him. But she was right though. Morgan is definitely up to something. We learn in the episode that he's actually there to mine for X-Kryptonite. And if you don't know what X-Kryptonite is, basically X-Kryptonite was created by Kara when she was trying to figure out a way to solve the green kryptonite problem. And she had a big lab accident and she created the X-Kryptonite. And X-Kryptonite allows a person to take on Kryptonian abilities temporarily, which may explain why Laura has Kryptonian abilities. And maybe she was even on the necklace, maybe she was even wearing X-Kryptonite. Now, why X-Kryptonite is being mined and is actually in the mines of Smallville, who knows? But if they get that, that means the Intergang can make all of Intergang little Kryptonians, which means Superman will have a problem. So, yeah, very nefarious. At the same time, Sam Lane is causing lots of problems for the Kent household. He literally complains about Clark not doing his job, which Clark is he's very quick to tell him, I don't work for you. I am not on your payroll. He's very quick to tell Clark to not deal with his boys, not be there for his boys. He even goes so far as to tell the boys to leave their dad alone because basically daddy has bigger responsibilities than being their dad, which is effed up. That's not something you say to your grandkids. And I love when Lois and Clark found out about it, and Lois went off. She was like, you know what? You know what? You weren't a good dad to begin with, so why are we even listening to you? You are not parent of the year. You don't tell us how to run this, blah, 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 and kicked him out. So, actually they said, if you don't like it, you're not welcome here, and then he left. I thought that was very interesting. But then I also love the mini fight between Clark and Lois, because I swear it seemed like Clark was baiting Lois into being mad at him, and that didn't make any sense to me. He got called away, so he wasn't able to be there for her to do the speech. And so, she was like, yeah, I get it. You're Superman. You couldn't help it. Somebody was probably dying. I have to understand this. And he's like, yeah, but I understand you're mad at me. He kept going on and on to the point where she just started getting mad. She was already testy about Morgan winning the mining rights, but it was like, why is my husband just talking? And I love that fight. But I will say this. Her saying, I don't feel like a priority, and him saying, oh, you really feel that way? That was a very calm way of having that conversation. And then her saying, I'm going to go drink with Lana. We're going on a girls' night out. It is completely 180 from a certain married couple in Black Lightning who, if this had been that situation, Lynn would have been like, where were you? I'm like, I was waiting. You didn't show. You suck. And then he would have been all defensive. I'm not going to let an addict tell me what I can and cannot do. I don't know which version of this married couple is more realistic in today's society, but unfortunately, I'm leaning more towards Jefferson and Lynn, because I feel like Clark is not able to get mad at Lois the way a husband actually gets mad, because then he might accidentally hurt her or kill her. So, Jefferson can say those little snide off the cuff remarks to his wife. Superman can't say that to Lois. Plus, I think she would just cuss him out. So, yeah, the whole thing though was kind of funny. It was funny. At the same time, the boys are having interesting time. There is a guy named Tag who is demonstrating. To me, it looked like he was either becoming a speedster or he was getting Kryptonian. I'm leaning towards temporary Kryptonian powers, because he also broke the table with his hand, but his hand started shaking really, really quickly, and he couldn't stop it. So it was definitely getting some kind of speed ability. But I really think the reason I think Sam might be working with Intergang is because of the excuse he made. So in the episode, of course, Jonathan's friends with this guy. He's trying to help this guy. And then he starts, having all these, superhero outbursts. Basically, I'm calling them, or meta-human outbursts. And, Jonathan doesn't know how to handle it. Finally, he gets his dad to come. And, of course, Clark flies him up, high enough that the altitude makes him pass out, so he can't shake or hurt anybody. But Sam says, oh yeah, we think that there's some kind of phosphorus chemical that, kind of he was exposed to when, Jordan basically used his heat vision to start a fire and explosion. I think he actually got exposed to X-Kryptonite. And so he actually has, Kryptonian abilities. And now they're going to use him as a lab rat. I do not think he's going to a superhero meta school. I mean, right now that could only be superhero high school, because I don't even think they have Titan school yet. What was it called? Titans school or academy or something like that. Can't be that. So, I mean, I don't know exactly where he would be sent. But I think that that's a BS. I think they're experimenting on that poor kid. I really do. And that's just a cover that he was using. He's so shady. He is so shady. Just like at the end of the project 7734, he gets on the phone and he's coming up with that, he's basing off of the dog tag, right? Well, that doesn't make any sense, because in what world does the Department of Defense not already have a ship or a stash of kryptonite or something to get rid of Superman in case he goes out of control with? Of course they're like Black Ops. Of course they've got some kind of contingency plan in case Superman loses his crap. I don't get that at all. That makes no sense to me. Sam is like shady. Sam is shady. So I'm convinced that he is in some way working with Intergang. I don't know why, but I feel like he is, which is sad, because he's supposed to be such a dedicated military, general, giving his life to the military. But anybody can snap and anybody can do things for other reasons. So I don't know, maybe, realizing that your daughter is married to one of the most powerful men on the planet, you kind of get a little fear in your soul, and then try and look for ways to cope with that and contingency plans on how to get rid of somebody if something happens. So, that to me was a mess. So another thing, so they all have code names. I had to look this up last night. I still don't know. I still have no idea if this is true, but so when I was watching the episode, I was watching it with another comic book lover like myself, and they pointed out that Checkmate is one of the organizations that uses Bishop as one of the calls. And I immediately thought about Mr. Terrific, because Mr. Terrific is technically on the same Earth. So does that mean that Sam's working with Checkmate? I don't know. It's either Checkmate or Intergang. There's so many questions, guys. I have so many questions to this. But either way, one thing's for sure. Sam is shady. So let's talk about also, I had some questions, because, I have to have some questions. So Leslie Larr threatened Lois with the lawsuit, right? And she was the one in the pilot that said, "I told you he would destroy you." I kind of feel like when Lois went to literally go and confront them, like you could see that Leslie wanted to snap Lois in half, and then seeing her punch through the wall made me actually wonder if she really was Kryptonian. So now I'm on the fence, because if she's on the juice, the X-Kryptonite, then that would explain why she has these abilities. And if she does wear this necklace to keep herself juiced up, that would also explain why she wears that necklace that looks like, she's wearing kryptonite. But I don't know. There's so many places that this can go. Like, this is a really interesting character. Again, I don't know who Lara is in this universe. I don't know. We already talked about this in the last episode. There's so many versions of Lara that she could be in the comics. I'd be down for her being, we don't have a canonly established Wonder Woman that we know of in this universe. And because they haven't really showed us, like, we get bits and pieces. We know that Superman has definitely dealt with Kilgrave and Intergang before, but we don't know who he's actually been in contact with in the Justice League, because post-crisis, a lot of stuff changed. So even though we saw all of the superheroes in their own version of the Justice League, that doesn't mean that didn't go away when everybody went home, because quite frankly, who knows? So I don't know if he's ever met Wonder Woman. I don't know if he's met any of the Lanterns. I don't know if he's met Martian. Well, he's met Martian. I don't know who he has not met from the Justice League, and who he has met in the Justice League. So I can't say they have an established Wonder Woman. They just never talk about her. So Laura, being the daughter of Wonder Woman, And eerily, Superman would be really weird. So I don't think it's her, but there's so many possibilities on who that could be. So it's just boggling my brain. I'm trying to come up with a theory and it's just really messing with me. So I did love the fact, though, that we learned just how crime-ridden Metropolis is while Superman is gone. And like, and Lois is like, man, really? It's like, I mean, Sam was like smacking down. It was like, now that you're not in Metropolis, they don't see Superman flying around anymore. Crime's going crazy. And I'm like, okay. I love, if you really think about it, Sam is using Superman as a commodity. It's like, literally, we own the rights to you. What do you think you're doing having your own life? It's such a weird angle, but it works because I really feel like that's how he would be. In this version or this situation, if they made this into a comic, or if Sam in the old, like in the OG Super or Smallville, knew that Clark was eventually going to be Superman, how he would say if they, had kids, knowing he didn't have to give his powers up. I feel like that actually is how Sam Lane would be too. I feel like he's like, I'm a soldier. You have more power than me. You should be a soldier. And as soldiers, we don't have weaknesses like family. They just have to fend for themselves. We brought them in this world. Let them do their stuff. Let the mother take care of it. So it's interesting. It is interesting. And then the only other thing that was interesting also to me again was I really liked all the interactions in the town. I really liked the whole Lois and Lana going out for a girls' night and talking about their husbands, and they weren't even talking about them in a negative way. They were just talking about things that were bothering them, but they really weren't trash talking their spouses, which is interesting because you would think that they would be like talking a lot of smack, like, Lois saying, oh, well, my husband's always running off somewhere and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I think it's interesting that they both have positive things to say. And the next morning, even Lana was like flirting with her husband. So it's interesting. It was an interesting episode. Now, what is the overall goal of Morgan Edge? I don't know. Do I think that Captain Luthor is going to end up being on Morgan Edge's side? Nope. Because I think what happened in Captain Luthor's world probably is in tune based on the X-Kryptonite and based on what Morgan Edge is planning. So I think he's actually going to end up being an ally to Superman. I think there's going to be a lot of crap at first, but I really do feel like he's going to become an ally to Clark because Morgan Edge is going to become everybody's enemy. Because right now he is 100% Lois's target. But I think that story is going to merge. And I think everything that's going to start happening with some of the boys' friends at school becoming metahumans, which is such an homage to OG, Smallville, when they were all, affected by the meteorites, and Chloe's Wall of the Weird. Like all of this is going to interconnect into one story. So we're starting separately and all of it's going to merge into one overlapping story, which I'm down with. I actually like how they transition these stories. It's pretty cool. But I do think that Morgan Edge is going to be the big baddie, and Intergang is on top. It's literally what they're facing right now. Intergang, the possibility of creating their own Kryptonian army, hence recreating a world exactly like the one that Captain Luthor is here to stop. Only he's aiming for the wrong guy. So I think he's going to realize that, and I think that that's going to play a big role into how they become allies. Let's see. So why Clark, were the Brass and Kara sisters, director of Arrowverse Sword? I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. How does Kara have more access than Clark? So there's always been the running joke that, Kara is older and has always been older. She just was sleeping in the Phantom Zone longer. So I guess she's trying to let them know that just because you came into Earth and aged a little faster than I did doesn't mean I'm still not top. I don't know. Probably because her show came out first. That's basically why she has all that clout. Do you think we'll get more flashbacks to Morgan Edge's takeover in other towns and how he met Leslie? I really hope so. I like that line where he was like, I can recognize talent. I want to know. It's actually driving me crazy because I don't know who this is supposed to be and who she's based off of. And I really need to know. Just like that whole thing too with the academy or school that metahumans are supposedly going to. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. There's no way we have Titan School or Academy. There's no way we have, I think it's called the Superhero High School, where all the girls are like, and all the superheroes are like teenage, age. They have like a cartoon. I don't think we have anything like that. I think they're taking these poor people and experimenting on them, and they're going to learn that later, and it sucks. There's going to be some New Mutant stuff going on. Let's see, passing through. Hi, Mercenary. Even though I just saw your comment below, the episode felt the most Smallville-y. I love it because they had their metahuman of the week, basically their the meteor rock victims, basically. I like that a lot, but I don't buy the chemicals, fluorescent chemicals or whatever that, Tag was exposed to. I don't buy that at all. I think that he got hit by X-Kryptonite, and because weren't they partying in the mining shaft? I think they were in the mining area. So if they were partying there, that's where, all the X-Kryptonite is, which I still don't understand how the X-Kryptonite is there when it was created in the comics by Supergirl accidentally. But I guess weirder things have happened. I don't know. It's strange. Hi, Chastion. Put this over here. Smallville. Lana was so badass. Her being like an equal to Lex and the ISIS Foundation, the power suit, and being a descendant of a powerful French witch. That is my Lana. Yeah, Kristen Croak was cool. She was cool. She was cool in Beauty and the Beast too. I'm disappointed in this Lana. Don't be disappointed yet. We haven't seen her completely in action. I do like that she's standing up for herself. And they actually said that she, graduated, with honors from college. She could have gone anywhere and she chose to come back home. She loves her family. She puts her family first. But we don't know everything that happened when they were younger. So we need to have more of this Lana's backstory before we judge her. We got to give her a chance to be boring, So, but from what I've been seeing though, she doesn't have any animosity towards Lois, taking pretty much her ex-boyfriend. She doesn't seem to have animosity or jealousy towards, Lois being a successful, reporter or any of that stuff. She's just unhappy with her trajectory. And that's pretty much every adult I know. So I just got to give her a chance to see what they have in store for her, because quite frankly, her not liking Morgan Edge kind of told me right there that maybe she's not in on whatever these nefarious plans are. So that is a good thing. That means Lana is an ally and not somebody working with Intergang. So that's cool. I'll get back up in a minute so we can go back to talk to the Flash. But let me see. The darn ASA is back. We need those damn metas. It seems that way, right? They're just not even trying. Buried in the city. The Metapalooza. These metas are not playing. I'm telling you. After Crisis on Infinite Poop, I'm like, did the worlds really get better? Nope. They got a heck of a lot worse. So, just think about it. Superman and Lois lived in Metropolis for how long without incident? For a long time. And now all of a sudden it's like everybody's trying to kill us. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Just like Superman really does not listen to his self. Like he lets his wife, and I guess I can see it because she's Lois and she's like, you're not going to let me do anything. I do what I want. But he's like, you're going to take the truck and go confront, Morgan Edge. And quite frankly, Morgan Edge's girl could have just smacked her one time and killed her accidentally and made her disappear accidentally. They don't know she's married to Superman. So, there's no reason to keep her alive. They already tried to blow up her car and had put an assassin in the motel. Like, she's right here. It's stupid. Have you seen the poster for the season 6 Supergirl? I have not yet. I need to check that out. Let's see. Scrolling up. I know we're going to mix our Flash and our Superman and Lois content together. So Mirrorverse is so corny to me. Yes, so is the Love Force. Guys, I love my spouse. Love my spouse. I'm going to go hang out with my spouse after this live stream. But it's interesting because I don't think my spouse can touch, any spear and give me my speed back. Or I never had any speed. But if I had speed, I don't think that could happen because the power of love doesn't fuel you. Speed Force does, So I'm so curious as to what brought this plot on that love is I know he's the paragon of love. Which really he should be the paragon of loss and making stupid choices like Flashpoint. Lack of critical thinking. But I want to know why the paragon of love, who's fueled by his heart, ruled by his heart, got his speed back with the power of love, and they were able to stop this powerful person like Eva from taking over the world through the power of love. Why didn't they use the power of love in the beginning? Like, guys. The power of love compels you. The power of love. Okay, we are the Flash. I'm telling you, this show is called Run, Barry, Run. I don't care what anyone. Run, Barry, run. You know, what if he just was like one day, I don't want to run. I'm tired. I just want to sit here and leave me alone. Let's see. It's like DC Care Bears. Ray, you were so right. He runs a lot. Oh my Lord. I would be down though for them bringing Ralph back. Like I said, still wrapped up. Like he does something and he can't go back to his original form and he takes on a whole other persona, or he just stays wrapped up. That way you can literally have a different stunt guy, a different actor in him every week. But I don't know. I wonder why when they were fighting, they only brought Frost and Cisco with his modified weapons. You know, God, I miss his vibe abilities. And they had a whole metahuman, aka Allegra, just sitting back at Star Labs watching everything. And I'm like, she's useful. I'm like, why did you leave her behind? Oh, Lord. Why? I feel like the writer of the Flash must have just hooked up with someone, but don't write this into my comics. Power of love. Somebody got engaged when they were writing that. It's cute. It was just cute. Just recast him like he's super important. Yeah, you know, I think the reason they're hesitant in doing that is because a lot of people were upset that he actually was let go. Some people were okay with the fact that he apologized, and that was years ago when he made those pretty messed up and not tasteful comments on his Instagram. I think it was Twitter, Instagram or Twitter. I don't know. But yeah. It's kind of controversial, and you know they try and steer far away from that. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like the DCEU and Amber Heard. I don't know what's going on with that. She should have been gone. Dylan O'Brien. She want Dylan O'Brien to be in it. I can see that. I miss Vibe, not Cisco. Can we swap them out? Like, yeah. I mean, I enjoy Cisco's banter, but I really like it's. There was a way for him to keep his meta abilities and still be able to have a girlfriend, still be able to have a life. If you are worried about aging or going crazy faster in the future because of using your powers, still use them a lot. Only use them when necessary. Be the backup. Be Allegra. Be a whole metahuman sitting back at Star Labs doing nothing. Sitting there looking at the screen saying, wow, this sucks. I'm like, I like Chester. Chester P is cool. He's very cool. But yeah, I don't know. Was this whole episode, I wasn't feeling it. It felt kind of anticlimactic for me. You had Iris, you pulled her through unwillingly by force from the Mirrorverse. She was only out for like 3 hours, and then she was able to fuel you through the power of love to give you your speed back. And then talk down Ava with the power of love. I love that they give Iris more to do, but I want them to give her more to do where it's like Lois, where she's investigating a story. She's trying to get, somebody to be put away. She's trying to get to the bottom of something. I want her to be able to be the Iris West in the comics that's just basically Lois Lane's counterpart. And like literally, if you look at, Superman and Lois came out swinging the moment she got in Smallville. She already had a damn story. Iris, when she gets a story, she gets sucked into a freaking mirror. I was like, well, there's that. There you have it. I mean, Nancy Drew's solving more stories and cases than Iris is, and Iris is supposed to be a journalist. So it's like, it's so annoying for me. I feel bad that they keep doing this. It's actually, it is Iris character assassination, which does not help with all of the people out there that hate her character anyway. One for being cast by an African-American actress, and number two, because they made her the lead, like the team lead, in like season 3 and 2, actually. End of 2, I think it was. I have to go back and look. They were not happy with that. So they like literally started pooping bricks. And every time they do something now, like I'm really scared to look at other reviews on either of these shows, but look at other reviews and have people say, there's Iris again, the power of love, cheesy, you know? And I get it. It is a little cheesy. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a little cheesy that instead of the Speed Force coming back full frame, that you had to make it that the power of love between Barry and Iris, which is, it's cute. It is cute. But the power of love between them fueled the Speed Force. That is just very, very strange to me. It's very strange. I'm just putting it out there. But if you just got here, guys, we did kind of go over the recap. But I'm cool to answer questions, and I'll probably spew out a few of the other things too, because I try and stay here about an hour to maybe a little bit over an hour, and we're only at 40 minutes. So you guys got me for a little while. And the only thing you missed in terms of my overall opinion of the Flash, it should be called Run, Barry, Run. Should be called Run, Barry, Run. Ava had a huge point that Barry has not used his powers to solve world hunger and to stop anything else because he can't. And possibly she could, because technically she would be able to solve world hunger because her mirror people probably wouldn't have to eat. So she is right about that. She was right about most of this stuff. She said people were trash. Some people are. So, I mean, but making Barry the Noah's Ark of the Mirrorverse, like, get your people. Like what? Moses parted the mirrors. Take your people in. you stand here and you take them out. That's literally what she said. And I'm like, wow. I would have loved to have seen what Barry, a Mirrorverse Barry would have been. Would he have been the Flash? Would he have had speed? Would he be a perfect copy? It's interesting. So that to me was interesting. A question that I did ask, besides why the heck wasn't Allegra in the fight? Why didn't Cecile, when Cecile basically got swapped with the Mirrorverse person, why in the heck did she use her new ability? Because unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong. I admit it. If they didn't have any emotions whatsoever, then I would say, okay, I get it. But Cecile used her new telepathic, empathic, emotion force push attack, a lot like Maggie in Charmed, on another character already. And an episode, I think it was last episode, the episode before. Why didn't she do that to the person that was trying to doppelgang her? Because if she feels something, she can make her feel fear. So why didn't Cecile do that? Why didn't she use that as a weapon when she learned it so freaking fast? I'm like, why didn't she do that? So I'm confused why Cecile didn't try to save herself. I'm just throwing it out there. And Joe, I get Joe wanting to go in there with his wife. I do. But again, as I pointed out earlier, you have a baby. Where is your baby? Did you guys forget you have a kid? Where is the baby? First of all, and why were you so gung-ho to leave this baby? I mean, as far as you know, your daughter's still in the Mirrorverse. The Flash can't raise your kid. Do you really want Barry raising your kid? Joe, come on. I mean, what's going to happen to your kid? What's going to happen to Cecile's kid from her other marriage? What about your son, Wally? So, like, I get wanting to follow your woman, but I mean, it was just like, oh, my woman's gone through the mirror. And nothing's keeping me here. I need to go with her, except your kids. I like real revelation, Chastin. You got competition, Chastin. Just got here, but there should be at least 5 likes. Why are you guys not? Where are the likes on this video? Like me. I'm likable. So yeah, back to the other points though. I mean, overall, it was a campy, cheesy, very sweet Run, Barry, Run episode. But I do want to know if we are actually like, are all the Harrisons going to be gone? Did anybody read up on if, we're actually losing Tom? Like, is he leaving the series? I mean, I don't think he is, but I'm confused. I'm really confused on that. So I don't know. Cecile does not have the offensive use of her power yet. She did use it on Vertigo though. So she used it like that. So if she can use it on her, why couldn't she have at least try to do it? Try to do it. I mean, if Barry can get speed from Iris, why couldn't Cecile, in a moment of let's save my own life preservation, use his power? I mean, people what is it? Women will lift a car off their children. Why didn't she use this power? It doesn't make any sense. Why do I have to honestly ask the CW these questions every week? Why do you write material and then have me ask you why you even bothered introducing it if you weren't going to do anything else with it? So, guys. So that's my Flash recap. And then as for the Superman and Lois, I've already said I don't get why. There's so many questions. Why, the X-Kryptonite is actually being mined in Smallville to begin with. Is it plot purposes? Easy, an easy access because that's Clark Kent Superman's town. Since Intercorp is the name of Morgan Edge's town, does that mean that he is the head of Intergang? I mean, we just saw Kilgrave. Kilgrave is the weapons master of Intergang. So of course, if he has a connection to Morgan, then he is essentially the leader of Intergang. Just saying. I don't get that. So this also begs the question, who is Sam's loyalty to? Is he working for Intergang? Since they're calling Superman Bishop, are they working for, is he working for Checkmate? Either way, he's shady. He's just shady. He's just really shady. Is Sam a villain in this Project 7734? He's looking at this freaking dog tag. He's coming up with this, we need to create this contingency plan in case Superman decides to go crazy on us. You mean to tell me you never had that? Come on. I don't buy that at all. There's no, just how you talk to your son-in-law tells me you already know how to kill him. I mean, you already know. I don't understand what that's about. So Sam is shady. He's either working for Checkmate or he's working for Intergang. I don't think they took Tag anywhere but to be experimented on. There is no meta-human school because they are not incorporating the superhero high school. They're not doing the Titan school or academy. They're not doing any other form of high school we've seen in any DC comics because I think that he's lying his butt off and that they are torturing these kids. And not just kids. They probably have all kinds of people that are exposed to X-Kryptonite, which is what I think is actually happening to Tag. He's not getting Flash abilities. He's not, with the chemicals that spilled on him like Barry. No, I think he got exposed to X-Kryptonite because they were partying at the mine. So he lied. He is a liar. Sam is a liar. And how he told his grandsons they can't call their daddy because they need to have respect. And that, he basically the world needs him and he's owned by the world and he's the most important person on the planet. And they're like, so don't call your dad. Man, Lois was right. She was right to go off on him. She was absolutely right. Now, I get it, though. A lot of people are probably watching the series and are like, well, Superman, why are you doing this to begin with? You are Superman. You put yourself in this position to be the one that's called. You could have just kept your powers to yourself and never done anything and never helped anyone. And we all know, if you are a Superman fan in the comics, the one problem Superman has always had throughout all of his run. We've seen it in the Christopher Reeve version. We've seen it in Golden Age Superman. We've seen it in every variation of Superman, is that he can't save everyone. And that's the problem. He's always going to miss saving someone, and it eats him alive. There is an issue in a comic when he's talking to Batman, and he says he remembers literally the name of every victim that he wasn't able to save, and he put it in the Fortress computer. So that has always been his problem. But yet we're swallowing this disbelief that, he's going to knock down a bunch of civilians along with Kilgrave and Intergang people to get home to his sons are calling him. Man, don't do that. I don't know, guys. And the fact that he's literally the assistant coach and has time to be the assistant coach. And I said this last week. What happens when you're the only one taking the boys on, like they go to a game and they're like in a away game and you're the chaperone? You're going to leave them on the bus? How are you going to get off the bus to go fly off and save, whatever, and then get back on the bus without them noticing you being gone? And then what if something happens to that whole bus full of kids while you're gone? That's an irresponsible role. I don't understand why he's doing that. He's making very interesting, very, very interesting choices. So no, nobody's going to Granny Goodness's school. That's like no. That's literally like going to the nanny in Marvel. No, that's not where they were going. Though that might actually be where they're going because you definitely would torture some kids there. But no, I feel like Clark's choices in this, even though they're noble and he wants to spend time with his boys and he doesn't want to miss out on their life, it's a bad idea for who he is. At some point he's gonna have to figure out, is he Superman or is he just Clark Kent? Which is very interesting for this drama because that is literally the dilemma. And the whole, scene with him and Lois and him missing out on the speech because he was dealing with an emergency and he was feeling guilty. Like she was literally like, I understand. I'm going to get a drink. I understand. Stop talking about it. I understand. And he's still like, are you mad at me? Are you going to be mad at me? You say you're mad at me. I'm sorry. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? So yeah, then she got mad. I'm like, I'm not a priority anymore. Yeah, it's interesting. He's definitely, I feel bad for Clark in this series because he definitely is going to be going through some stuff. And this is just episode 4. So he's definitely going to have some issues. Hi, Kevin. Somebody just said that they do not like Jordan in the series. Jordan is like Brightburn if Brightburn became a teenager before killing people. I really worry about him being a supervillain at one point because it feels like Jonathan, who I still think is going to eventually get powers because he's Prime Superboy in the comics. I feel like eventually the brothers will have to face off against each other. And something is going to happen where Jordan is going to become so angry. And when you become so angry and you don't have coping and realization and basically you don't have a way of processing from right and wrong when you're mad, you are going to go down a dark path because that's exactly what happened to Lex in the OG series. He was not always bad. His dad just was pushing him because Lionel was a dick. So when you have that, then technically speaking, you are forming your own supervillain. And it's going to be so interesting to have the twins against each other because that's going to be a Kate and Alice scenario all over again, but with superpowers. So just saying. And it's interesting, too, that they decided to go with Jordan and not Connor. Like, I always thought it would be Jonathan and Connor, not Jonathan and Jordan. So they can really do anything with Jordan, anything with him, because he's a made-up character. So, yeah, I think Jordan got his powers first because he's, he can't control his rage. And I feel like his powers are very rage-based. And I feel like Jonathan's aren't. Jonathan is so depressing to watch right now because, yes, he was the popular kid in school. He had all the friends. He was on the football team, youngest quarterback on the team. So he left his girlfriend, his entire life in Metropolis to come to Smallville to help his brother. And now his brother's the big man on campus and nobody's paying attention to Jonathan. And the one friend he made is pretty much being tortured for being a metahuman. That's what I think is happening to him anyway. I feel bad for him. And then the fact that like Clark is so like pro, I got to show Jordan this and me and Jordan can do this and let's celebrate Jordan. And nobody's saying, good job, Jonathan. Jonathan got benched at a game that he's been playing probably for years, while his brother, who just happened to pick up the sport, is getting all of the advantages because he has powers. And that is really effed up. And I just don't like this unhealthy rivalry they're already creating. But since Jonathan's so much like Lois, he still rationalizes it and defends Jordan and helps Jordan. And I just really feel like if Jonathan ends up getting powers and then also becomes the big man on campus, that's when you can see Jordan turn. Jordan's going to be like, oh, I'm not the special one anymore again. So now I'm not happy again. So now I hate everything and everybody. So yeah, they need to watch him. Jordan needs a super butt whooping. That's what he needs. But, whatever. Poor John is attention starved. Yes, John is. He's absolutely attention starved. And rightly so. Mama's always running after Morgan Edge. Daddy's paying attention to Jordan and flying around saving people. And Jonathan is just lonely. I think we even see in the preview next week where he's like, my entire life is in Metropolis. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm tired. So it's going to be an issue. Let's see. John might end up being the real problem. Could be. I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, it could completely go the other way. John could be like the one, I'm tired of always sacrificing for you, and become the Brightburn of this series. And then they're just making it look more like Jordan would be because he has rage issues. Because, I mean, no matter how you look at it, Jordan has extreme anger management. And the medication is not helping. He can go off like that. He's just off. And it's bad. And I feel like Clark and Lois's parenting skills are very motivated by their own parents. So you have Superman, who lost his parents because, of the explosion. And now you have Clark, who was raised on Earth by very sweet parents who are very protective of him, who didn't want him to show his abilities, were worried about people coming to get him and experimenting on him. Then you have the father die of a heart attack early. And of course, the mother died, basically his mother died of a stroke just prior to the pilot. Or during the pilot, should I say. So he has this loss from both parents. So the desire to want to be with your children comes from that. And then you've got Lois, who we don't know if the mother died like in the comics. In some versions she's dead, in some versions she's not. And OG Smallville, she died from cancer. We don't know her story in this, but we do know that the father is almost the same across the board. He is dedicated to being a general and the military and serving his country, and treats his daughter like crap. He trained her to be able to take care of herself and taught her self-defense, but he was very hands-off in her, raising and being raised. Will they introduce Lucy Lane into this? I don't know. It would be interesting. I think it'd be cool to shake it up. I don't know if they bring in Peyton List, because that's who played Lucy in the other one. And she's been in Charmed, and she's been in other CW, like she was in The Flash. But maybe because she's actually, why did her name just go out of my head? It's going to come back to me. But she's actually an established character in The Flash when she comes in and out. They probably can't use her in this one now because they're on the same Prime Earth. I don't know. I have to think that's going to bother me. Why can't I remember her name? It's pretty easy. I'm like, who did she play in The Flash? Why am I forgetting it? I know who she was. Why am I not? Hang on. Golden Glider. How did I not remember Golden Glider? She's literally Lisa Snart. She is Snart's sister. So yes, she's already Snart's sister. She's already had this whole backstory, abusive thing. Brother was in Legend, blah, blah, blah. So I think bringing her in as Lucy would be weird. And honestly, they probably should bring in a blonde, because that would be funny, because that's what she was in the comics. But they won't, because they don't make Lana redheaded either. So it is what it is. That's what I was thinking. Ray, what did you say? John has his parents' best traits and his brothers has their worst. Yeah, I agree with that. I kind of feel like Jordan is the anger that Superman can't let out. He's like, that's my rage. Because let's not forget, Jonathan was the only baby they had, technically. And then this crisis happened, and this whole their embryo split somehow. And then that must really suck for Lois to go through childbirth, and then technically go through childbirth again with the same kid and just add on a kid because of crisis. But yeah, I love the fact that if you really look at this, and this actually is very true, all of the patience that Lois and Clark have for each other seem to be reflected into Jonathan. And then all of the anger, the pretty much lack of communication and transparency, the resentment from being, Superman always having to leave, missing date night, blah, blah, blah. All of these emotions, these negative emotions went into Jordan. That would be interesting. Let's see. This is why we need Nora back. We have enough legacies for the Arrowverse kids to have their own adventure. I really want Dawn and Dawn, because twins and twins would be cool. I mean, and then we'd have 3 sets of twins across the board, even though technically Kate's in Coriana in the ocean. Who the hell knows where Kate is? But at least we'd have 3 sets of established twins in the Arrowverse. So that would be cool. And just seeing Dawn and Dawn would be very cool. It would have been really interesting if Barry and Iris, when they came back from Crisis, already had Dawn and Dawn instead of Nora, and had no recollection of Nora whatsoever. That would have been interesting, but you know how it goes. Clark and Lana need parenting classes and family therapy. Oh yes, Kevin, the fact that they said that their little girl was bullying other students and biting them, and like they're just like okay with this. I'm like, see, the problem is these kids have no discipline. That's why they're able to scream in their parents' faces. This is why they're able to, bite other kids and be destructive, because they get yelled at firmly and then they yell back and then everybody's upset and in their feelings and then they go their separate way and nothing is actually really resolved. But we just think that it is because it's no longer in the script. So when in reality, had it been my mother, Mom, sometime. Like, nope. Sorry, Mom. That said nothing. I don't even remember her name. I don't know where I am. Where is this real life? Nope. So that's not how that would have rolled in my house. I'm sorry. Mm-mm. If I had Jordan's abilities and I was Jordan and Jordan had my parents, I don't care that I came from an interracial family. I had a black daddy, well, he's black and native, and I had a Scottish mother. Take that all, just throw all of that aside. It comes down to the parents. You don't have to be a certain race to try and take out your children. Like, I'm just saying, you don't. You do not. So I would have been the best, and I'm talking best kid ever. We would not have had to move to Smallville. I would have been, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, sit in my place, don't speak until spoken to, because I know that I wanted to keep my teeth. So, yeah, did not want to be the spot on the floor that people stepped over and inquired about because my mother hadn't gotten around to cleaning up the mess she just created by taking me out of this world. Yeah, that would not have applied in my house at all. Heck, my mother found a way to rip the powers out of my body. Like, she was like, you think you're all that? Give me this powers. Give me powers. So no, that's not how that would have worked. That's not how that would have worked. Let's see. Moving also for the Flash, did anyone else? Hang on. Did anyone else think of Sailor Moon and the way he saved the world? You got to believe. Yep. You got me singing the old 90s D-I-C song, The Power of Love. What's wrong with you? Kevin, why? But you're not wrong. I mean, honestly, they should have played that. And Queen Beryl should have been like standing up there saying, "No more Speed Force." And then like start singing the song, and I was just like, I'm not afraid anymore. I will give Barry his speed back right now with the power of love. Like, you're absolutely right. Oh my gosh. Oh no. They watched Sailor Moon, didn't they? This is why we got this script. Kevin, you just solved the problem for me. I was trying to figure out what the inspiration was, and you just explained it to me. Thank you. Why Thunder and Lightning, Grace, and he's you with Khalil? Oh, you with them? Yes. I think Lightning would be, pretty much on their level age-wise, but I think Thunder is now she might be out of medical school. I think she's actually in her residency, so she could be in the universe, but she wouldn't be going to school with them. Neither would Grace, and she's, Thunder's wife. But I could see Lightning and Khalil. Wow, could you see Painkiller and Superman and Lois? Yeah, waiting for the days of crossovers when he gets his own show. That will be interesting. This is why I need them to keep Lightning and Thunder and Grace in Painkiller's universe, because I think that their stories are nowhere near being done. So I want to see that. All I can think of was Iris with Sailor Moon. Yeah, you know what? And the spear was the silver crystal. You're absolutely right. Wow. That or Kagome making a wish in Inuyasha. But yeah, I can see that. That didn't turn out well in Brightburn. Yeah, it did not. Nothing turned out well in Brightburn, actually. He didn't really have a weakness either. They didn't have a chance to get like a kryptonite thing for him. That's what's really messed up. Let's see what else. Wally's too busy singing about dragons and twerking with braids to help him. Oh, Ray, you're on it tonight. Like, you're on it. You are on it tonight. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He's in a few Netflix shows where he's dancing, and I think there was actually a twerking scene in the ballet one, but don't quote me on that. I could see that. I could see that. Let's see here. Trying to make sure I don't miss anything because sometimes I do, guys. I don't mean to. It just happens. We definitely need another season of Black Lightning. I know. I am so angry. But and what's really making me more upset is how annoying they're making Jefferson and Lynn towards each other, because it kind of separates you from what's actually happening. And I know we're supposed to be feeling this way because Tobias's master plan was to drive a wedge between the Pierce family, with each other. So I get that this is all his game plan. I do understand that. But I feel like what Kevin just said. I love Black Lightning, but this last season feels so lackluster. It does. Tobias is like, I am the man. And don't get me wrong. Tobias is the man. He is the kingpin of the DC universe right now for me. But he literally is sitting back like saying, I got plans. I get what I want. Next scene. Next scene. And then you see Lynn saying, Jefferson, where have you been? I've been calling you, but you told me like an hour ago that I suck. So I was like, just get out. And then he's on the back saying, that's why I don't like you, because you're an addict. But I mean, they are just so effing toxic. Like, they are so toxic. Now, don't get me wrong. There have always been issues between Jefferson and Lynn because he wouldn't stop being Black Lightning. The first freaking season, she was all about, I want to try to be with you again, but not as Black Lightning. I just want Jefferson Pierce. I want my husband. And then the children were like, they got their powers. And she's like, oh my God, Jefferson, they've got powers. I'm like, and then he's like, well, yep, that's my fault. And then she's like, I need time to process this, Jefferson. And then she's like, I want to be with you. I don't care. And now she's like, why aren't you Black Lightning anymore? Our kids are out on the street. Freeland needs you. And I'm like, hey, Lynn, is this a Black Lightning day or an anti-Black Light? I just want to know where we are in this transition because, I don't know from day to day. And my therapist hasn't told me what's in your head. So please help a brother out. Write down what you need on a sticky note. Pop it on my forehead. I'll check it out. I'll re-enter this scene the way you need me to enter it. Because no. And the moment something goes wrong between these two characters, the moment they instantly attack each other. She's like, it's your fault that Jennifer's in this situation. It's all your fault, Jeff. Because if you had been out there, then she wouldn't be going up to the ionosphere and she wouldn't die. And he's like, what? You're over there like sniffing those meta boosters like a cocktail. I don't want to hear that. So yeah. I am not reading Nubia. I need to. I am actually behind on a lot of my comics. I think I said that before. Behind on some stuff. Oh, guys, if you are still waiting on my Wings video, which should have been up 2 days ago, it is actually there's something wrong with my program that I'm filming them in. My live streams go fine. Everything I film, pre-film, makes these all of the actual videos are coming out either huge or aired. So right now, my entire Wings video, which is not long, is 15 gig. And that's a problem because uploading a 15 gig video on YouTube takes 8 hours and I have fast internet. I am hardwired into my router. So I'm trying to find a way to compress it. And I had to get another video compressor and I'm trying to see if that works. So it's done and it's coming. I promise you. I even have the thumbnail. Thumbnail's done. Everything's done. But that's what's the holdup is. So don't give up on me on my Fate Wings saga video, guys. I promise you. I am not hoarding this video. I promise you. It's just 15 gig. First one, there was a codec error with the audio or one of the videos that just wouldn't work. And now this one is effing huge. So I have traced it to this freaking video. I have 3 video editors. One of them I use Premiere, but I didn't do this one in Premiere. I use this in my video studio or movie studio, which is kind of like Vegas because it was really quick. I did not realize, though, that when I filmed it, in OBS and transferred it, it would render the video to this insanely large file. So yeah, I'm fighting it. I got tired. I even tried to render it during my lunch break today, and it's just too much for me. So I'm breaking it down. So it will be out. I promise you. I just got to figure it out. If I have to live stream this video and everybody just watches it, I will do it. I don't care anymore. Like, we will work this out. All right. Sorry. So back to our regularly scheduled, I call it Arrowverse chat. Let's see. Also, did it not occur to Lynn and Jeff that their kids would have powers? Of course not. Because they don't talk about anything. Like, they don't communicate in their marriage. Like, what's wrong with you? They just scream at each other. That's literally it. They don't have deep conversations and talk. No. Lynn's mood, CC bugs give me whiplash. I know. She's like, she's on a seesaw. She's like, I'm up one day, I'm down. I would swear she has depression issues. And I'm completely okay with them dealing with a character with depression issues. But they just need to say she's depressed. But she gets angry. Like, I'm talking off the cuffs, talking smack, like instantly. And they always say what you say out of anger sometimes is what you really mean, even if you don't mean to say it. The stuff she says to Jefferson, that's not coming out of nowhere. That's stuff she really thinks. So I definitely have a lot of questions about that. Hi, Nicholas. Yeah, Lynn and Jefferson are toxic. So, which is interesting to me, when you see Clark and Lois in this episode, and they're bantering, she's literally very calm. You can tell she's mad, but she's like, I need to channel this anger. I'm gonna take it out on you, and blah blah blah. And Clark's like, you're mad, right? I screwed up, right? You're mad. Are you mad at me? Yeah, but seriously, you should be mad at me because I said I would be there and I wouldn't. I'm like, why are you trying to fight? I'm like, do you know how Jefferson would love Lynn to say that to him? Like, do you know that he would love for her to say, I'm going to say something and right now I mean it, but I'll probably regret it later. And I'm saying this out of anger in a healthy way. And you're telling your wife to be, do you want to be married to Lynn? I'm confused. Do you want to come home and have Lynn say, I'm very disappointed in you, Clark. You were not there for me and the children. Forget those people out there. We are your family. What is wrong with you? Clark, I'm going to the lab. I just can't deal with this. I'm like, so it's like, what? She seems bipolar. Maybe Lynn is bipolar. Possibly. I'm just down with Jefferson and Lynn at this point in time. Yeah, I am too. Clark is such a puppy. He is like a little golden retriever waiting for Lois to pet him. That sounded weird too. I've been saying very problematic stuff. Like when I said that Iris still had the speed force in her. That is a very problematic statement. Let's see here. Tobias gives me an ambassador leg spoil. That's what he wants you to do. Because Tobias eventually wants to run for president. That's his probably overall goal. Do you really think Tobias is just going to be after Freeland? No, Freeland is his home that he wants to run and put on his portfolio of cities he controls while he goes for bigger cities. Tobias is not going to be happy just staying in Freeland and running crime. He wants to be the top dog. He even says it. Look how he's talking. He's like, when you want to play in those fields, you have to learn those ways. So he's got master plan. He is Kingpin. He is the Kingpin. In any scope, I can take Tobias right now, throw him in Daredevil on Netflix, and I promise you, he would be a damn good Kingpin. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. Obviously, Obius is the Black Lex Luthor. Tobias is actually, I can see that. I don't know. I've always think that Lex is his own worst enemy. Tobias doesn't seem to be his own worst enemy. Tobias is like, you don't know who I am. I'm like, but you're about to find out. So now Lex is not that smooth. Smallville Lex I enjoyed because Michael Rosenbaum made a very good Lex Luthor, but all the other Lex Luthors are very typical. They're typical. You always know what they're going to do. You always know what they're planning to do. Their main goal is to get rid of Kryptonians. That is it, because they can't have somebody more powerful than they are. It's all vanity. It's all craziness. you always know where you stand with this character. Tobias is like, he's such an enigma. He's so mysterious. You never know which way he's going. You know he's up to something, but you don't find out what it is until it's too late. And that man literally picked up Khalil and ripped out his spine. I mean, Lex doesn't do that. No, that's some Kingpin stuff right there. So I think he is definitely Kingpin, and I have no problem with that. I just had a random thought. If Team Flash were Sailor Soldiers, who would they be? Okay, let's play this game. First of all, you know I love Sailor Neptune. I got Neptune stuff all around. And of course, the queer girl loves the queer girl, right? So let's leave my beautiful outers out of this scenario because they're not in the Flash. None of the outers are in the Flash. But let's go with the inner Senshi. So Iris would really be Sailor Moon. And Barry would be Tuxedo Mask or Tuxedo Common. I love this game. Hold up. Like, Caitlin would be Sailor Mercury. Cisco would be Sailor Mars. You know I'm telling the truth. I think Harrison should have been a cross between Mercury, but I'm going to make Harrison Sailor Jupiter because she was the mom of the group and he seems to be the dad of the group. So Harrison Wells would definitely be Sailor Jupiter. I can't use any of the other ones as outers. So Ralph would just literally be Pegasus and Sue could be a variant. She's just she could be one of the villains that comes in. She could be like, or she could be like Chibiusa's court, like Sarah or something like that. Allegra would be Chibiusa. Like, did I miss anybody? Oh, and Chester P. Who is my baby Chester P.B.? He would be Artemis. Yes, he would be Artemis. I like that. Chester P. would be Artemis. Although technically he should be Luna because Luna is actually black and Artemis is white, but it's okay because I like Artemis. And so, yes, we're going to go with the Chester P. He's Artemis. I really like this game. But yeah, Iris would have to be Sailor Moon. Would absolutely have to be Sailor Moon because she literally uses still silver crystal in this episode and her husband would be Tuxedo Mask. And think about it, Tuxedo Mask makes long-winded speeches for no reason that nobody cares about. That's Barry Allen. I mean, it's Barry. Of course it is. So yeah, thank you for that. Now I got to go and make a picture and put it on the community board eventually in Photoshop of all of them wearing Sailor Fukus of some sort. Thank you very much. I'm going to have my spouse draw all of them as Sailor Soldiers. Kevin, why? Like, why, Kevin? Why? Let's see. I wish I had the Speed Force in me. Oh, Ray. Would you be interested in seeing a live action Sailor Moon? I have seen a live action Sailor Moon called Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, and I've seen all of the Sarah Mew musicals. As a matter of fact, I own 4 of them on VHS because one of my friends went in Japan back when they were out in the 90s and got me all the VHSs from the premiere shows. So yeah, I am very up on my live action Sailor Moon. I've even seen that crappy Sailor Moon American version they were going to do, and oh, that's scary. But yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, though, there is a series called Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. It was 1 season, and I believe 48 episodes, and it was a live action. I call it Senshi Fu or Ballerina Fu style version of Sailor Moon, and it was actually pretty cool. I mean, it's cheesy as hell, but it was pretty cool. It's pretty much if you took Power Rangers and made them into Sailor Soldiers. And that's pretty much what was going on. And then they had the musicals. And I've been watching the musicals for years. And my favorite is Anza Azuma. If you've ever seen any of them, you'll know who I'm talking about. But yeah. Yeah, drop some knowledge bombs on you guys. It's a reason I'm called a nerd. Yeah, I'm a little obsessed with stuff. It's weird. I used to love watching Sailor Moon. Yeah, that they've redubbed it all. And now Ironically, they even have Stars now on Hulu. I don't know if they released a dub track for Stars yet on Hulu, but they definitely have Stars subtitled on Hulu. So don't you think Chester would be... Don't do that. I think Chester would be Artemis. Cisco would have definitely been Sailor Mars. Wally would have been Sailor Neptune or Venus. Oh, I get that. I could see Wally as Uranus. He could be really good as Uranus. Because remember, Uranus ran fast. He's a speedster. Sailor Uranus, Haruka, definitely is Wally. Wells would have been Sailor Mercury. The reason I don't think Wells would be Sailor Mercury and would be more Jupiter, because Jupiter's smart, especially in the manga, because Sailor Mercury is very, very shy and very, very passive. And most of the time, that's what Caitlin is, because Caitlin is smart and she's nerdy and she wears glasses sometimes. So I could see her more as Ami-chan than Wells. I could definitely see Wells as Makoto, though. I could see that. Him telling people, oh, you don't want to do this or you want to do that. Iris, I don't think would be Venus. This is a great conversation, guys. I don't think Iris would be Sailor Venus. I think she would definitely be Sailor Moon, because Iris is not as happy as Minako. Nobody is as happy as Minako. It's probably why I haven't signed Venus to anybody. There's nobody that happy in the Flash's universe, which is odd because they use the power of love. But there's nobody that super happy. Okay, I take it back. If there's a Sailor Venus, it's Cecile. Cecile or Camilla. Yeah, but Caitlin would definitely be Sailor Mercury. So if I'm going by this, then if I had to have a peppy, like a really peppy, let's all be happy, blah, blah, blah. To be perfectly honest, the perfect Sailor Venus is going to be Swan in Charmed. But since I don't have her in the Flash universe, then I'm going to say, if we had to assign a Sailor role, this is so funny, to anybody in the Flash, and it had to be Venus, then it has to be, for me, Cecile is so sweet all the freaking time. Like, so nice all of the time. That's hard. She'd be a good Setsuna. She'd be a good Sailor Pluto. So Cecile would be Pluto, and Camilla would be Venus. So Camilla's Venus, Cecile is Pluto, Iris is Sailor Moon, Cisco is Sailor Mars, Caitlin is Sailor Mercury, Wally is Sailor Uranus. If we have to have a Neptune, I have not seen my Michiru anywhere in this show. She is just too cool for this show. So I don't know who I would assign Michiru to be in the Flash world, because there's no one. There's no one. Chester is Artemis. Yeah. Nora is Mini Moon. Chibiusa. Yeah, I can see that. Let me move up. I'm learning so much right now. I'm sorry. I told you we get crazy in these chats, guys. You wait till I start my memberships, because these chats are going to go crazy. We're going to have crazy, like, we will talk about whatever. It's literally going to be a random chat day where we talk about whatever we want to talk about, and it'll be on crack. And I'm going to have to crack down and limit it to under 2-hour chats, because I know we get rowdy. Because look, we're already at 1 hour and 23 minutes. But I know how we get. Normally I babysit. I'm like, is that an hour or whatever? But I'm late. We didn't do our Tuesday thing, so I'm letting people just talk. So like, I actually love the fact that Kevin just threw Sailor Moon into the Flash universe. I had to have a deep thought and then think about this, guys. Picture them in Sailor Fukus. Picture Barry and Cisco and Wells. All in Sailor Fukus. Now, I've seen the actor for Wally, Helen Lonsdale, he's actually wore a skirt before. That's not a problem. But imagine Wells and Barry and Cisco dressed in Sailor Scouts, Senshi outfits. Tell me what your mind does. Just tell me where your mind goes with that, guys. Tell me where your mind goes with that. I'm just glad you didn't say Wedding Peach. That would have been a whole other conversation. My heart melted a lot in this episode. It was so sweet. I cried. Which episode? Because we talked about 2 different series. Let me know which one you're talking about. Nora's mini moon because she stays getting into trouble just like her parents. Iris is tuxedo mask and Barry is Sailor Moon. No, Iris is definitely Sailor Moon. Barry has to be Tuxedo Mask because Tuxedo Mask will do these speeches and it just makes you really question reality. A girl's love is like a flower on a summer's day. You shouldn't pick it in the daylight. Wait, what? Like, what are you saying? Just say stop attacking people. Leave girls alone. We don't need all these flowers. We don't need springtime. What is wrong with you, man? It's like he literally was smoking, he was smoking out before he came. That's why he does his cape all the time. He was a little too into that. So yeah, that's definitely Barry because Barry just makes speeches all the time. And you just have to really ask yourself what in the world he's actually talking about, especially when he talks really fast. Let's see. Cecile is Luna. I could see that. I can see Cecile as Luna. Luna or Pluto, because to me, Luna and Pluto are almost the same type. They have the same personality, so it makes sense. Harrison is Artemis. Harrison could not be Artemis because Harrison he's too maternal. Artemis really wasn't the one that was like the father figure of the group. He's just basically the guardian of Minako. So, but if you look at Jupiter, she was the one that assigned that role of being more parental to all the rest of them. So I could see, him being more of the Jupiter type. They literally turned Iris into a magical girl. They did. She used the silver crystal / the Shiko no Tama from Inuyasha. I don't know what they were doing. I'm telling you, they were watching anime. Somebody got engaged. This whole thing was like motivated by a lot of drinks and a lot of drugs and a lot of love. When Barry was like, "You will always be my lightning rod," I was like, "That's my heart can't take it anymore." Aw, Madness, you're so cute. Let's see. Did you look up the Powerpuff Girl? I did look up Powerpuff Girls, and I did see that my girl from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is playing Blossom. They have a newcomer. I forgot who was playing who. I want to say Buttercup is played by her, but I could be wrong. And then Bubbles is played by Dove Cameron, who my daughter loves. The Descendants, so I already knew she was in that. Looks cool. I mean, until I see a trailer, until I see, because I know the premise, until I see what the show is actually about. Like, I know what they say it's about. Basically, they're older. They feel like they got exploited as children, but now they have to use their powers as, like teenager or young adults or whatever. I get that. But I need to see, like, where they're going with that. I'm not going to hate on the show until I watch the first 3 episodes. I always give it 3 episodes before I start saying, okay, what the hell is happening? So I will give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe I'll like it. I don't know. I mean, the CW has sucked me into these shows, even though sometimes I wonder what's wrong with me. But I keep coming back for some reason, and that's scary. So let's see. I wonder if Barry writes his speeches down so he doesn't repeat himself. He should write them down so he knows what he's talking about and then sees that nobody understands him. I'm like, let's see. Moving up. Sorry. I'm imagining the outfits from Cute Hire Defense Club Love. I guess that's better than Tattoo Alien Fighters from Outer Space because that's also creepy. Dove tweeted the script is really good and the writers for the show worked on past shows like Veronica Mars and stuff. Like I said, I think it's going to be dark. They're definitely not going to do a cutesy. We're not going to get the cutesy cartoon that I love. But it's interesting because we probably get a lot of flashbacks with them as children, and that's cool. I'm just glad that Chloe Bennett's got something going on because I know she's done a few things, but I was really hoping they were going to bring her back as Quake in the MCU. But if she's doing this, I don't know. I mean, they still could, but I just think it's interesting. Where can us noobs find that show? For Sailor Moon? Do you have Hulu? Because all of it's on Hulu. Like, all of it is on Hulu. Okay. With Odell and his cronies manipulating Lynn to get on Glimmer green light, and then she was completely out of pocket, and then it devolved to the point of toxicity and borderline dead relationship. Yeah. Like I said, Lynn's been through it, but let's not pretend that Lynn wasn't a little bit problematic in season 1. I love her character. She is gorgeous. She's brilliant. She has She does have, on some level, very, very strong common sense and critical thinking skills. She just doesn't apply them to herself. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I really don't. My boys are killing me with their fighting, so we'll catch the rest later. Hate to leave, but loved being here. It sure ain't easy being a single father. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been there, real revelation. I was a single mother and then widowed and then single mother again, now remarried and no longer single mother. But it doesn't matter because my single child is now almost 25. So I managed to raise her without killing her for almost 25 years. It's my biggest accomplishment in life. I can't believe Winx Saga Element effects were better than the last Airbender movie. I can. I can. My dog is literally hitting my chair. What is wrong with you? He wants to be part of the show, but I'm not picking him up. He's over 70 pounds and he's a lab. That's not happening, guys. Stop. All right. I think Chloe can find room in her schedule. Who knows what happens, because she said she wants to keep being Quake. I hope she is. I really hope that they use her. I don't think... It's almost like because the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were considered to be another Earth now, it wasn't possible, but now we're dealing with multiverse stuff, then it's possible. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. I really need them to do it, though. I need her to be Quake in the MCU, especially with the New Mutants. Not mutants, the Young Avengers. Lord have mercy. I love Descendants. I'm glad there is more coming. I actually didn't know that. The issue with Lynn and Jefferson is that season 3 destroyed their relationship and season 4 is just dangling it to pieces. Yes, that is so true. And this is literally your last season. This is where you come together and work out all your garbage. And then we have hope for the future for your characters. Right now, I don't have any, honestly, any hope for them as a couple. Other than I hope they get divorced if they keep this up. That's literally how I feel. But, Wait, isn't Chloe going to play Blossom? Yes. Chloe's playing Blossom in the live action Powerpuff Girl movie. Oh my God, I just realized something after we brought Sailor Moon into the Flash. Revolutionary Girl needs more love. It does. I love, and so many people don't know about, Utena and all these other characters like Anthe and all that. It's so, I remember the theme song. I would hear the theme song and I was like, oh, because I loved the theme song. And a lot of people, I think, aren't really up on the art style and Clamp as a whole, like the whole Clamp X Revolution. I'm showing my age here because, I remember, watching shows like, of course, anything X that Clamp did. They did. I don't know if anyone saw Clover or any of the other obscure cartoons that they worked on outside of their detective series and all of the other art styles. They're just really cool. And Cardcaptor Sakura. But I've always loved the Clamp art style. Even though if you really look at the characters, they scare you. Their eyes scare you. They just are very creepy. But I don't know. I really think Utena was one of those series that needs to. And I think they are doing this. I think they did do they are doing it or they did it. They did a continuation with Utena, either a year after. Is it a year later? I'll have to go look at it again. They did 2 movies. So there's one movie and there's one, it's either a movie or a miniseries. And then there's a bunch of spin-off manga for other characters. My gosh. Utena is such a good show. And of course, that's another show that was unapologetically queer. That's what it is. Toya and Yukito Supremacy. Yes. Thank you, Nicholas. I need to check out because I know somebody said that they either have done it or they're doing it. I need to check that out because Wakabo was such a crazy character, but other than that, I loved every character in that series. So let's see. Trying to go up, making sure I didn't miss anything. I give Iris more of a Neo Serenity than Sailor Moon. Yeah. But from where she started, though, she would be Sailor Moon and then eventually become Neo Serenity. And or maybe even Sailor Cosmos, who knows? There's possibilities. Don't get me started on 2000 anime. Hamtaro and Card Capture Sakura. God, I remember Flem of Rekka. I was a big Fushigi Yugi fan. Such a big Fushigi Yugi fan. I actually like Genbu no Miko's story too a lot. Yeah, we need to have like a nostalgia. You guys need to, in the comments, you need to tell me what nostalgic anime you remember and would like me to do. That would be like a little side project that I will work on my downtime, because I have so many loves, and not just anime, like old TV shows. I was a big like Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs fan. I love Long Star. I love, of course, TMNT, like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dino Saucers, like all that stuff. So miss that stuff. I love those cartoons. I cannot wait for you guys to see this show. The script is unreal. I don't think I've ever laughed out loud so much reading anything without giving anything away. Official Dove quote. Wow. Okay. Zedge Bell was also a very good show. Tara was just straight serotonin point blank. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I think, did I get through everybody's? Wow, did I get through every comment? What? That's crazy. I normally leave something out. Hold on, let me see. Odell, I got that one. I got this one. Oh, wait, honestly, it seems like we're rehashing old wounds and already saw problems when it comes to the Pierce family. It was heading to a decent place towards the end of season 2, and when season 3 came around, yeah. It's because I really don't think they know what to do. I mean, if you're trying to drive a wedge between the Pierce family, it's not hard, because I feel like they've already had one since the end of last season. So it's not like Tobias just miraculously said, I'm going to make Jefferson and Lynn's perfect marriage fall apart. That was not really a good plan, because it was already doing that. Just like how Jefferson, like in the episode, I said this in my Black Lightning one, how he just walked away from Jennifer because she looked different. Like, it's so... He's such a flawed character, but that's what I like about him, is that he's not one of those people that's like, oh, you're my new daughter? Cool. You know, come here, girl. Like, he actually had to process it. And they made it seem like that was a bad thing. How even this is like, Dad, he has to process stuff. And I'm like, that's probably a good thing, Anissa. Maybe you should process stuff before you jump into a marriage and then start treating your wife like crap for a little while. Just saying. Let's see. So what did you think of Superman and Lois? We're going to get a mixed Connor Kent in the near future. Yeah, we were discussing that there's a lot of things about Superman and Lois that are interesting. I like the fact that they've actually had a purpose for X-Kryptonite, because there's so many colors they could have chosen, and having the one that Kara screwed up, I wonder if they'll keep that in the storyline. We're like, Kara, remember when you were trying to cure us of our green kryptonite, our allergy? So you made this stuff and you didn't know where to put it. So you hid it in Smallville in the mines. I'm like, that's what they make it seem like. Why is Smallville growing X-Kryptonite in the mines? It is not an element natural to Earth. So it's just a lot of questions that I have. Lots of questions with that. But yeah, I'm really curious to see where a lot of these plots are going, because they are, I will say, Superman and Lois has been intriguing to me, because they always have me thinking, and that's a good thing, because sometimes I watch a show and I'm just like, what? Yeah, people mad at Jeff for walking out, but come on, his daughter is literally a different person now. Yep. Because a lot of people, they get mad. Sometimes I've learned, when a parent does something, are not actually parents themselves. So they don't understand what it's like to see a child that you raised and looked at every day of their lives and see another person there. My spouse is transgendered. I support transgender, 100%. But when some parents have a hard time, not with the concept of their kid being transgender, but when they actually have, surgery to, basically correct their gender, and then they see them for the first time, it is really hard for them to deal with it, because they've always seen their child a certain way. And so I do see that on that level. So imagine you seeing Jen this 5'3" girl or 5'4" girl who's now 5'11", a lot darker and looks nothing like, how your Jen looked. Does not speak like her, barely acts like her. It's almost like you took on a stranger and you're adopting her, even though this is your biological child. That's hard. That is really hard. That was a natural reaction. And let's not forget that Jefferson, like Barry, blames himself for everything, because the first thing he asked Gamby was, "Did I do this?" So he blamed himself for that. Maybe he messed her atoms up. So yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Does that make Nia Nal as Utana and Brainy as Anthe? Because he said they need to be saved. It ends up turning into a weapon. I mean, that, you know what? You're not wrong there either. I will say that Nia Nal is definitely Utana and Brainy is definitely Anthe. Absolutely. I will take that. X-Kryptonite makes me think of the meteor rocks from Smallville. Yeah, and if they said that X-Kryptonite was formed on Krypton and crashed along with his ship, which they might, I get it. But then how in the heck did Intergang, because I'm pretty sure that's what Morgan's running, how did they know to look for it? How did they know it was there? How do they know anything about it? So it doesn't make any sense. There's something else nefariously going on here. I don't know what it is, but something else is happening here. I just don't want us to have another plot hole like we have in so many other series, like, Cecile not trying to save herself by using her new ability. I mean, I don't want to have that. That means Akara and everyone else is supporting characters. I mean, I feel like at one point or at some point she has to cross over to Smallville because that's her cousin. So, more than likely they'll end up going over to Smallville, to Supergirl, and then the quality in their production will drop drastically. Drastically. Let's see. I think she was recast for longevity to keep her around for future projects and possibly for the Painkiller. That's what I think's happening. I think they're going to move her and this and Grace over to Painkiller. They need to take Gamby. They definitely, I think, should have Tobias, since Tobias actually has a valid reason for being there, being what he did to Khalil. I really think that should be a thing. There was already Kryptonite in Smallville. There was Kryptonite in Smallville. I agree. But if you're going by comic lore, X-Kryptonite was made after. So that's a lab-based. It's like getting a diamond. You either get a diamond naturally by having a child go and dig it out, or you make it in a lab. And well, X-Kryptonite was made in a lab. So I'm just curious. I'm really, really curious. I'm looking forward to Supergirl coming back until confirmed. Otherwise, I'm going to assume the Fortress and Superman and Supergirl are different ones. That's a good question, because they never even pointed that out in Elseworlds. They never really said. Now I have to go back and watch. No, I don't. I'm just going to Google it. I'm going to say, the Supergirl Arrowverse have the same fortress as Arrowverse Superman? Because I don't know. Did they ever address that? I don't remember them ever addressing that. This is a very good question. Wow. Mind blown. Okay, I got something to do now. I'm gonna have to look at that. What is that? I actually believe the CW shows are taking inspiration from each other. Well, technically, Macy has 2 powers. Wait, that I transitioned to there wrong. Wait, what happened? I don't know how we got to Macy. Maggie. Okay. Blue Wolf, yes, the CW shows are definitely taking inspiration from each other. Like I said earlier in this review, when Ralph came back and they're putting him in a chamber to help fix his molecules, his atoms, whatever, help get his skin all right, I kept thinking that was the exact same process they did with Jen. So it's like they're all mirroring each other. I don't know what that's about, but they are. They are mirroring. If you sit here and take notes on the shows and then compare them, you will find parallels in every season. It's really weird. Do they ever mention Kara and Superman and Lois? I feel like it's a different world. They don't really say anything about her at all. But it's only episode 4. Maybe we'll hear something. Maybe. And remember, in Elseworlds? Was it Elseworlds? Kara name drops Chloe. Remember, she says this is from my cousin Clark's friend Chloe, which is pretty much an homage to the Chloe of OG Smallville. So I'm really. They almost made it seem like they were the Smallville, actual Smallville, OG Smallville, Clark and Lois. But then when they did Crisis, they had a whole other Clark and Lois from the actual Smallville show. So it's just really weird. I feel like they're all over the place with this. No, it's the same world. They just forgot Lex and Anti-Monitor. Yeah, Anti-Monitor was not a threat. Everyone knows Bebo was the main villain in that. And he was just an imaginative creature. He was just conjured by what was his name? The wizard, I think, did it. Weather Wizard, I think, did it. They had a Medusa in Charmed, and they also had a Medusa in Legacy the next week. Yep. Well, look at Flash and his super cognitive ability of writing really quickly, and then look at Harry doing the exact same thing on Sunday night. It's normal. They do it all the time. That was a flashback in the normal episode. Thank you, Madness. Yeah, I remember her saying Chloe and that they got this information from Chloe's Wall of the Weird or something like that. And I'm like, she said her cousin. So that's why it got really weird when they realized that wasn't the same Earth. I think if they had known they were going to have Tom Welling come back, they would not have done that in the episode, but they didn't know. So they've established it. Because if you look at Elseworlds, they were at their farm in the OG Smallville, and now they're at the Man of Steel farm. So I don't think Crisis did that, because Crisis, we had Tom Welling and Erica Durant. So it's stupid. I don't know. It's really weird. The Chloe and Supergirl is a doppelganger of the original, probably a different actress. Well, she needs to be, because the original one's in jail. Blood diamonds are problematic. I agree. Let's see. What I mean with Cecile's powers and the charm ones is stronger, but it's just, yeah, they have similar powers. Maggie's power to force push emotions, and then Cecile learning to do that. I do agree that everybody, I feel like all the writers' rooms is actually a huge writers' room, and they all pull the same ideas when they go through. They're like, are you doing that? Yeah, I want to do that too. Cool. Okay. Boy, and they have this back and forth until magically senses something off with John and Jordan. Oh, wait, I missed something. I'm praying that Jonathan ends up finding Tracy 13 at the high school to vaguely flirt with her, only to be shut down, and then says, that I'm a lesbian, right? Wonder and then Wonder Boy, and they have this back and forth until magically senses something off with John and Jordan. She would be a really cool character to introduce into their universe. I will give you that. I'm really interested, though. I think it'll be very cool if Jordan is the Brightburn and Jonathan is the Prime Superboy, and they become, because it'll put more skin in the game. It'll be like Flashpoint when, Batman was obviously, Thomas Wayne, and Martha Wayne was actually Joker. And that's why he could never stop Joker, because it was his wife and he still loved her. It would be the same with Jonathan and Jordan. Jonathan still loves his brother. And so he's having a hard time fighting his brother and, thinking he can bring his brother back from the dark side, like Kate did for a millisecond with Alice or Beth. I think that would be very cool. And it would be on a higher stakes level, because both of them would have the power to F up the world. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. I love Kara and Clark fighting. I did too. That was actually she beat Clark's butt every single time, though. They made Clark, the problem with the Clark in this series is that they already established that he was one of the weaker Supermans in terms of strength, because he always got beat up. He got beat up a lot. He got beat up in Elseworlds. He got beat up in Crisis. Kingdom Come Superman beat the holy crap out of him. When he was when Lex Luthor possessed or had him kill, or put the suggestion to kill the other Superman. So I don't know. With Melissa's production company teaming up with WB, so she may stick around and could make cameos after her shows end because of that. I didn't realize she even had a production company. So you were on it, Madness. I don't know what she'd be doing, but that's kind of cool. Exactly, Maria. It's a giant writer's room where they all work together, exchanging ideas and recycling ideas. I think that's what happens. We really think it's just per series. I think it's actually the CW, like the CW writers room across the board. We might see Riverdale. All of a sudden, somebody's like writing really quickly ideas on the thing, and they're all hyped up on something. It's just like, I really feel like all the concepts and all the ideas are shared. They're recycled. One of the things that bugs me about this shared universe is that when one hero has a problem, but they act like the phones or the internet don't exist. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my problem has always been this. Common sense. The lack thereof is a problem in a lot of these shows. Like if you've already established that the Mirrorverse is reflective through artificial, and natural light, why would you walk to the window when so you hear a voice? Why would you do this? I'll be like, I hear a voice. I'm gonna go check the window out. And I'm like, Barry, stop. Just stop. You're supposed to be smart in science. Literally, what is wrong with you? Like, whatever. Do you think we'll get Dr. Fate as a possible mention? I would love to see Dr. Fate and Stargirl. That would be cool. Or have a new Dr. Fate. That would be cool. I know we're gonna have a lot of cool things. I want Ted Knight to be in Stargirl. I have a long list of people that need to be in Stargirl. It will be another Diggle, but not the one we used to. This one will be Len's relative in the story. Well, we know that John Diggle's actor has already confirmed, and I always forget David's. Is it David? I always forget David's last name. That he's going to be guest starring in a bunch of stuff. But he's also going to be directing. So I don't know what shows he's directing. I know he's going to be in Legends, but I don't know what other shows he's going to be in. More than likely, he will be in The Flash. I just need him to be in as Green Lantern because he found the ring. It's going to be stupid if he found this ring and he's like, that's cool, boop, and then put it back on. Like, done with that. So I need to see him come in as Green Lantern. That's the best part of the Flashpoint. What is there's actually, to me, for talking actual Flashpoint, the best part is having Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne becoming Joker and Batman. If you're talking about Arrowverse Flashpoint, there was nothing good about that Flashpoint. Maria, will you be reviewing Stargirl Season 2? Of course I will. Absolutely. I reviewed Stargirl Season 1. Absolutely. Kate, just kill Beth. Jeez. I mean, yeah, they should actually. But Alice is just really fun. She's a fun character. Powerpuff Girls potential crossovers. Imagine Blossom fighting alongside Superman. Could she have her beam, 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 beam? Like I would be down with that. I found a violet ring outside my house. What does that mean for me? It means you love everyone. You're a loving person. Good job, Nicholas. Learn to fly. Just don't do it like Wonder Woman in 1984. I feel like they depower Clark because he's too OP for Arrowverse. I think it's because Superman is considered too OP for every verse. And a lot of people don't like him because of that. So I like Superman because Superman realizes that no matter how powerful he is, he can't save everybody. It's a natural response. I have all this power, but what does that matter if I can't save everyone? He couldn't save his dad from dying from a heart attack. He couldn't save, if he's saving these kids over here that are flying to their deaths in a school bus, and that means he can't save the people on the train. He can't be everywhere at the same time, and it bothers him. And that's why he takes on all of their names and puts them in the computer at the Fortress of Solitude, because he wants to remember every victim he was not able to save. But people take that as, Superman's OP, not like Batman. I'm like, Batman, I have no hate for Batman, but I recognize Batman for what he is. He's nuts. I'm like, people don't realize this man has never had therapy. All the stuff he's doing is because he did not deal with his parents dying and his issues. So dressing up as a bat and becoming a vigilante and imparting justice on people, technically speaking, is against the law, like, because you are not a cop. So I'm just saying, not saying the cops in our world are that great either, but for some reason they go to school and some cops aren't bad. They do go get trained, and then, they are supposed to take care of or protect the people. Again, we know that that's not always true, but at least we expect them to do it. We don't expect crap from Batman. The only thing I will say, though, Batman does go in the hood. He goes in the hood. He would go to Freeland. He would go. Ryan didn't go to Freeland. I don't know why Ryan didn't go to Freeland. I mean, is Freeland not on the news? That's the real question you guys need to ask. Do the other heroes watch the news and see the crap going on in Freeland and know that Black Lightning is part and lives in Freeland and thinking, oh, we like him. He helped us during crisis. Let's go help the brother out. Do any of them say that ever? Or do they only get their own city's news? It's nothing on CNN for them. Just saying. So lack of therapy makes one a superhero. That's what Squirrel Girl said. Remember, she said, the one weakness I have is I don't have trauma. I'm but that's also my strength. That means there's really nothing holding me back. For hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone in blackest night, accept our ring and join our fight. Love conquers all with violet light. You go love everybody, Nicholas. You go. And then you go find Diggle and say, what the hell, Jon Stewart? Get it together. How many kids get switched out from time travel and dimensional switches? So many. You got to feel bad for baby Sarah. She never stood a chance. She's like, I was a real girl once. Now I'm Penny and Ruby. Let's see. Fun fact, Kim Possible tone is 2 notes apart from the Power Rangers tone. Okay, that's cool. Which one? The main theme? Because Power Rangers had a lot of theme songs. I think all the writers went to Colorado because of the lockdown, and they are definitely hyped up on something. Yep. It's all love. COVID love. David isn't playing John in Legends. He is playing a new character, Jon Stewart, right? That better be who he is. I promise you, if he's not Jon Stewart, I swear to Almighty, especially since we had a character come and say, hey, where's your ring? I swear. I like a full power Superman. I do too. I will tell you, I really want them to animate or make a live action version of Deceased because I actually like Deceased and I love seeing Superman. Literally, I don't know if I want to spoil this, but just seeing what happened to make Superman a zombie and seeing how dangerous it is for Superman to be a zombie because he has no inhibitions and he does not give a damn. Yeah, that was cool. New gods in the Amazon and etc. Oh, because now we have to devour the major characters. I see what you're saying. I think that there's more ways to have OP characters. If you really think about Shazam, he's OP. So, he took on Superman many times in the comics. So I do like Shazam. There's a lot of characters that really, if you think about it, are OP. For me, Monica Rambeau is OP. She's immortal. She's OP. Eventually, Superman may age slowly, but he'll die. He'll get old and die. Monica Rambeau isn't gonna die. So there's a lot of OP characters, but I guess people just dump on Superman. Let's be fair. Let's be real. He was one of the first ever superheroes in comics. So they have a lot to dump on. And plus, he evolved a lot because he never used to be able to fly. He just would leap very high. That's why they say leap buildings in a single bound. Why would you want to do that? I'm going to leap to the 21st floor. Okay, cool. You do that. Iris and Barry are star sapphires. Oh, Lord. We're almost at 2 hours. I'm going to take a few more, but you guys are crazy. I love it. Let's see. So Psycho Baby Mama and Son Daughter Witch won't be in the new Earth. Probably not. No. Probably not. Ryan can't go to Freeland. But Batwoman can't because Batwoman is not on probation. So she's not wearing an ankle bracelet. She really isn't. They made that very convenient for her to be Batwoman. Okay. Will will we ever see if Nora is born and if Mon-El comes back for the final swan song and keeps Kara off her, or sweeps Kara off her feet, and they have a Kryptonian Daxamite hybrid? What powers would that kid have? That kid would be amazing. And considering she married Mon-El in real life, I guess he could come back for that. I think he went back to the future, right? So definitely come back. Let's see. If they had a special school for powers, why haven't we seen it before? Does Jeff know about it? How come he hasn't considered sending Jen there? Laughing math. Okay, so first of all, Jefferson would not hear about it because he lives in an area of the country that has a high population of generational poverty, and it's predominantly Black. So they're not going to tell you about it because that's how that works. And I don't think they introduced a new school. I think that Sam is talking out of his butt cheeks because he is working either for, honestly, it could be Checkmate. It could be, I really think he has an in with Morgan, I think inner gang. Yes, he's honorable. Yes, he believes in whatever, but I really think he woke up a lot when Lois married Superman. And he has a lot of fears. And when you have a lot of fears, you do a lot of stupid crap. So I think they're experimenting on these kids. And, honestly, for all we can tell, whenever he's talking about his new project and his new initiative, to take, in case something happens, they need to have a backup plan for Superman, which I still do not believe they don't have a backup plan for Superman. That is so stupid. I think the backup plan may be making super soldiers out of Kryptonians. Because what if Intercorp, which is really a front for Intergang, has a government contract to make super soldiers for the military? That would be messed up. Okay. And I need a Batman Who Laughs. Everybody needs a Batman. Not all of the issues, but the Batman Who Laughs would be great animated or in live action. That would be very cool to watch. All right. It has been, we are over 2 hours, guys. 2 hours. You guys are awesome. Most of our live streams will be about an hour, a little bit over. I did this one, though, because I didn't get to hang out with you guys last night. So we got to hang out tonight. And I was also late. I had to push this forward because of my job. My day job is killing me. But yeah. You guys are awesome. Again, put all the questions about the shows or anything we want to talk about in the comments. And also, if you want me to talk about certain nostalgia, anime, cartoons, TV show, whatever, put that in the comments below, because I will definitely do that. I have a log, I have a ton of episodes and seasons of different shows, and my nerdiness is just insane. I've been doing this for years, guys. So I have a lot of I have a very diverse entertainment section in the room in there. And what I didn't bring, I got through marriage. So definitely put it down below so we can talk about it. But yep, I'm gonna go hang out with my spouse. It's 9:03. I'm sure my spouse misses me. I miss my spouse. So I will talk to you guys later. We will not have a video tomorrow unless I get my Winx video fixed, and I will just post it. But we will definitely have a Falcon and Winter Soldier video on Friday. And guys, the following Friday, we're going to have 2 things to talk about. We're going to have, well, technically 3, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then we're going to have my Godzilla Kong movie. And then we're going to have the Snyder Cut. So next Friday is going to kill me. A lot going on the following Friday. But yeah, love you guys. Have a good night. And I will talk to you later.